Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pathways to Knowledge. We're here. We're going to have a really, really good show. I figured since President Trump released some information on UFOs today, and they're very quite interesting. I looked at a little bit of it. Thought maybe we could go back and do a show about aliens. We got some new questions made up. Ellen is here with us. So why don't we get on with it? Our guest will be Fred, as usual. So, Helena.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Tonight, we're going to channel with the spirit of an alien who we've spoken with several times in the past, and his information has always been quite interesting, to say the very least. We call him Fred because we can't pronounce his name. Fred, thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome to Pathway to Knowledge. Please tell us about your home planet.
Well, I come from a planet on the far spiral side of the galaxy. The planet's name is Rob, or you say Robe, or it's not its real name, but that's what I'm going to tell you it is. We live a lot underground. We lost much of our atmosphere through the ages. We're very advanced. We believe in the one God, same as you do. We go to the same heaven you do. Much of it is pretty much the same, except when it comes to souls. I have the same soul energy that humans have. That's why you can talk with us, and that's why we're having this conversation today. So I see that you got some really interesting questions. I'm not sure how many I'm going to be able to answer because I think Ellen is going to sneak one in on me. But anyway, let's take a shot and see what happens. Ellen?
Great. What mistakes almost always destroyed your civilization?
Not being able to get along. Our civilization is very, very old. It's been around for millions of years. In the beginning, we were very primitive, just the same as humans were. And we made many of the mistakes that humans are currently making. We waged war on one another. We showed hatreds. We did all of the things that destroy. But we finally realized that the only answer was going to be to get along. So we chose to get along. And since we did that, then God came through and showed us the way and gave us these great technologies. And as you can see, I'm here today to speak to you. Now, keep in mind, many of the humans that are actually going to listen to this show have reincarnated on our planet as well. Humans have been reincarnated on other planets for billions of years, so it should be no surprise. So if anybody listening feels like it's a homecoming, just let me know.
Do you get to choose which planet you get to reincarnate on?
Yes, just the same as you do. We have guides. We go to the same heaven. It's quite often people don't like to repeat going back as humans because it's such a difficult life. Life on our planet's really pretty simple, so we get a lot of people wanting to come back. We have limited resources, so only so many people can return and reincarnate on our planet, but it's not a bad place once you get used to it. It's an easy lifestyle. It's a place of peace, place of happiness. So we find out that in heaven, many of the souls would rather actually return to our planet than Earth, but you've all been here at my place one or two times in the past.
Well, how did you get your people to agree to work together?
They realized that they were going to kill each other off. We were actually down to a very small population. We've been fighting wars, and as I said, we have limited resources on our planet. And everybody kind of came to the realization that if we kept this up, nobody was going to be left. We had been receiving messages. God actually returned to us and had come to us and given us messages, just the same as Jesus returned to your planet. And he said, folks, you got to change. He came to your planet and he said, folks, got to change. On our planet, we changed. On Earth, you haven't. So it's we'll see how long it takes. Now, it wasn't instantaneous on our planet either. So we still have a lot of hope for humans. But if you don't, you will have the catastrophic result that we almost had. We realized soon enough to stop it, and hopefully humans will realize soon enough to stop it as well.
Have you overcome war? And if so, how?
We overcame war. Our weapons had increased incredibly so. We knew that if we continued to use these weapons, we would simply annihilate everyone on our planet. Now, I guess the last guy to pull the button on the last weapon might still be around, but I think you get the idea. You got to realize the destructiveness that comes with technology. When you increase your technology, such as humans have done in the last 3 or 4 generations, you've come up with weapons that can destroy millions, if not billions, of people. The side effects from using a nuclear weapon on your planet would be catastrophic. The environmental impact of it. It is possible that if you use multiple weapons, the dust from it could block the sun. And without the sun, there's no heat and your plants die. So it's got to be common sense. Countries think that if they have the weapon, they can use it as a deterrent and it will give them great strength. In reality, it will give them great weakness because if they use it, they're going to be the first to go because there's a lot of other planets that, or other countries on Earth have these weapons as well. So it's not a smart thing. You've got to learn to do away with these weapons, devote your time and energies towards important things like learning to travel the stars, interdimensional changes, many things you have yet to learn that you've got no clue about. And until you get rid of your weapons of mass destruction, it's not going to happen.
What does a truly advanced planet look like?
Well, you don't drive around in automobiles. We really have the ability to basically move by thinking about that we want to move from one place to another. You'll be amazed at the internal energies that you have access to once you learn how to use them. So on our planet, and I'll just use our planet as an example, we can move around from place to place simply by thinking about that we want to go to that location. That's the same as it is in heaven. When you're in heaven, your soul energies move around by using your mind, or you don't have a mind. That's probably bad terminology. But you have a will. Your soul has a will that you use. And if you want to travel around using that will, then you can do so in heaven. Well, we've advanced to the point that we can actually move our bodies around like that on our planet. We don't grow crops like you do. We have synthetic foods. We can eat maybe once a month because these foods work in our systems over time. We have a different type of lighting. We use different types of energies. We communicate pretty much mentally, just like you would do it in heaven as well. We can talk, but our civilization is beyond anything that you can truly comprehend. We've been around for several million years. You guys have only been around for a couple 100,000. So there's a big difference in the evolutions that took place on our planet.
Well, what steps can we take to learn how to evolve into these energies?
Assure that you're going to be around. Do away with wars. Stop trying to kill each other. Save the planet. Don't pollute it. Use the energies that God has given you in your mind for good. Don't do things that are going to destroy. When Jesus appears on Barry's Wednesday show, he's always saying, don't do anything you don't want done to yourself. Simply apply that. Countries should apply that same reasoning. A country should not attack another country if it doesn't want to be attacked. So it all comes down to the great simplicity, the great common sense. Don't do harm to others. They don't do harm to you. Use the energies and the monies that you have available for research, for technologies. Those of us from other planets will come to you and help you. We will give you guidance. God will give you guidance. Many things will take place to help you advance. But you've got to get over this first stumbling block, and that is wanting to kill each other. Once you accomplish that, then you will be able to use all of your energies, and you will find that life could be pretty good.
Is there anything an individual can do to learn how to tap these energies?
Yes, you can advance yourself. You've heard of the term raising your energies.
Right.
When you find that you are mentally at peace, that you have a foundation of faith in God, that you can contemplate things into another realm. There are individuals that can do out-of-body traveling with their souls. It all comes down to controlling your own emotions, your own focus, your own concentrations, being able to meditate. If you look at many of the Buddhist monks that have been working at this all their lives, you'll find that they're capable of doing amazing things because they have control of their own systems, their own bodies, their own minds. They can advance the energies. As you truly advance, grow closer to God, do all of the things that he would want you to do, learn to live peacefully, you'll find that much of the depression, much of the anxieties go away. And once this happens, then emotionally, you move on to a higher plane. And as you move into these higher planes, you will find that you can do more things, that your mental capabilities will be in different areas. You'll begin to see into the other dimensions that are around you. Just the same as animals can see into the dimension and see spirits. Once you achieve this, I'm going to refer to it as a nirvana because it's the only name I can think of for it. You will find that you will be elevated. Your soul will be elevated, and you will be doing things that God wants you to do on a higher plane.
So what happens to your soul on your planet when you die?
Same thing that happens to the soul on your planet. The soul leaves the physical body and goes into heaven. It is impossible for you to understand the concept of a single heaven that extends throughout the galaxy. But you will find out when you go into the heaven that you think you're going into, that there will be souls from all of the other planets there with you. And there will be this great equality. So the exact same thing happens on my planet that takes place on your planet, because this is the way God has decided to arrange things. It's hard to believe, but that's what's going to take place.
Are there multiple alien types visiting the Earth?
Oh, absolutely. There are many planets that have civilizations on them. We've learned to get along with them. First, on our planet, we had to learn to get along with ourselves. That gave us the technologies to interact with the other planets. And then we had to use the same understanding to get along with the other planet civilizations. So there's much cooperation throughout the galaxy. And each civilization brings a different type of evolution and learning. So we've gotten together and we do many things. And when we travel, we have many civilizations represented on the same vehicle. So there are many different types of aliens that have visited your planet for millions of years. And there are many that are at this time attempting to help you advance. But you must listen to them, to the advice that you get, and stop trying to kill each other.
Well, on that note, then, do aliens live among humans?
Yes, aliens can live among humans. They can adapt to different shapes. They can become different types of individuals. You refer to them as shapeshifters. So it is possible that the different types, and not every type can do it, but certain types of aliens can assume human forms. There have been aliens that have assumed human forms and have continued to live as humans through different generations. So there are humans walking the earth where 8-10 generations ago, one of their parents was an alien.
Is there any way for us to recognize them?
There are more than you would think. Many people don't even realize that they have this alien background. In fact, I would assume that most people walking the earth would have some type of alien background in their historic genealogy. Most of them are totally unrecognizable. There may be some that have recently come to this planet that have certain characteristics. Maybe their eyes look a little different. Maybe they react differently to different situations. But basically, you will not be able to tell a shapeshifter from a normal human being.
Well, how long have the aliens lived amongst the humans?
Since the beginning. When
Adam and Eve beginning?
Well, since Adam and Eve never existed, no, but they've been around since ancient humans evolved. There was a time that God decided that the ape family, for instance, was not capable of doing what he wanted them to do. So he created what you refer to as the missing link. And ever since he created that, aliens have been helping more and more to have humans evolve in the way that God wants you to evolve.
So are humans unusual in the galaxy?
Yes. Actually, they're a very delicate form of life. The advanced cultures' lifespans are generally much longer. On my planet, we live for roughly 900 of your years. But since the human type is a young civilization, God has given them relatively short lifespans because the lessons are so intense on Earth. He wants you to return much more rapidly because your soul needs to understand how you reacted to your life plan and what lessons you need to learn. Souls that go to many of the other civilizations have learned many of their lessons. So on Earth, he wants the soul to return fairly rapidly. If you're going to one of these advanced civilizations, you can kind of take your time and chill out.
So when you were alive, did you live among humans? And where were you? What part of the world?
I was here. I lived in what you refer to as England, and I was here in the 1700s. I lived a life. I tried to help the English or the people of Great Britain at that time to advance. I tried to teach them things. At that time I was here, the fleet of that country was very important. So I served in their navy, and I tried to help advance their navigational skills. And I think I was successful in pretty much in what I did at that time. But I did live one life as a human. It was not an easy life. And I do not plan to return as a human again. I've been asked to come back and speak to you and give you information, but I have lived a human life.
So were you married and did you have children?
Yes, I did marry and I had children, but my family never realized who I was. You know?
What species of aliens live among us? I was hoping you would tell us more information about your family, but what species of aliens lived among the humans?
I know you were, but I did not want anybody being able to try to trace the genealogy. So I think we'll just let it go where we were.
Okay, so you read my mind, huh?
Well, I wasn't. I was trying to surprise you.
So let's get back on script. What species of aliens live among us?
Let's be careful when you say get back on script. This is
Well, for me,
Yes.
You have no script.
I
have questions because otherwise I'd be asking thousands of questions. You know that.
I know that. That's why. Yes. Moving on. Okay. Fred is back. Believe it or not, there are reptilian cultures that are very adept at shapeshifting. So every once in a while, people will see reptilians. There are other types that can do it as well. The little whites can do it. Palladians especially are very good at it. There's probably more Palladians on the planet Earth than any other type. So those are probably the main ones that come here.
So there really are shapeshifters.
Oh yes, definitely. There are many of them. There are many of them living among you as we're speaking right now.
And I know that. So are there any famous people that we could identify, or you're not going to tell me that one either?
There are famous people, yes. There are people in your government. There are people, especially that are working in the networks trying to improve your space transportation. There are some of your more advanced scientists that are shapeshifters. But I don't think I should really leave any names, but use your imagination and you may be able to think of some. You will generally find they have great intellectual abilities and that they are basically leaders in what they're trying to do.
How long and what interactions do you have with the Earth's governments?
The government of the United States has been aware of alien interactions for probably 20 to 22 of your last presidents. So we've been around quite a while. It's been a pretty well kept secret. In the early days, they were afraid to mention that they saw or had communications with aliens for fear they would be put into asylums. It is only now, since disclosure is becoming more rapid, that your politicians are more inclined to speak the truth of relationships. But we have worked with your governments for many years. There have been times that the presidents have not been informed of what is taking place because we have been working with the militaries. There have been times that we didn't feel that we could trust the presidents not to follow through. But we have definitely been here and working with you for a long time.
So how's it possible that we really don't realize that there are aliens living amongst us?
Because the advanced cultures can shift their actual physical states to the extent that you will never know it. The advanced cultures can do things far beyond your imaginations. When the transitions are completed, no human is going to really understand what has taken place.
What's the hardest part about pretending to be a human?
Trying not to show your advanced abilities. Trying not to show that you're reading people's minds. It is not easy if you're first generation. If you're second or third, the abilities that you've had have faded drastically. But when you first come here, you have abilities far beyond the capabilities, the human capabilities. And it's very difficult to keep them hidden.
Are human sensory perceptions like smell, taste, touch strange to you?
Yes. Our sensations are much different. Because we have the mental telepathy abilities, and because in our case, we don't eat food as a human eats food. So for instance, we would not have the ability to taste. Our extrasensory perceptions negate a lot of the need for touch. So there are many things when we are on our planet that are much different. When we come to your planet and assume your form, then we also assume your sensory perceptions.
From your perspective, are humans a single species or a collection of warring tribes?
We look at them as warring tribes. They remind us all of our very early cultures where we had different groups that were fighting among themselves. So I think that each individual from another civilization that comes here perceives of humans differently. If you would come to a relatively peaceful country and the people are, so we say, more primitive, then we would think them as probably a unified culture. If we think of it as countries, then it's more like warring tribes.
Did your civilization survive a period like our 21st century? And if so, how did you survive it?
We had periods of great turmoil, but populations would be partially destroyed and we would rebuild. and then another period of violence would come. We finally realized that the true answer was not the violence, that everybody was much happier during their rebuilding periods. So you're going through an extremely violent period right now, but you seem to have them every 1 or 2 generations. Your world wars were much more violent than what you're going through now. But the potential that you have for violence is almost unlimited. So we've all gone through, all cultures have gone through similar periods. But what you're going through in this period of turmoil is unusual even for humans.
Were there any interventions by aliens here on Earth that would shock us?
Oh, absolutely. When you were going through your preliminary adventures in developing nuclear and hydrogen weapons, you were right on the verge of destroying humanity. Hydrogen weapon has the ability to set off a chain reaction that uses the hydrogen in the water and air as an explosive. We had to intervene in one of your tests to stop it from taking place. So we have intervened many, many times.
Why hasn't disclosure taken place earlier?
Actually, it did. Some of your ancient cultures lived on a daily basis with aliens in the past. In Peru, the people that created the Nazca lines lived with us in peace. So they were fully disclosed to the fact. In ancient Mexico, you see signs that the people had interactions with aliens. So in the past, there was full disclosure. But as things changed, we found that the changes promoted by religions were drawing the people away from understanding the alien presence around them. So as religions grew, the presence of aliens was not as acceptable as it was among many of the ancient peoples. So today, it is time that people truly understand. And that is why it is now time for disclosure, because you will be limited in the future if you're not accepting working with us on a daily basis.
Why is it important that you contact us now?
Because if we don't, you are going to destroy yourselves. We're hoping that through disclosure, we can have an effect on bringing peace to the world. We have great abilities. We don't want to do it, but we can actually threaten and say, look, you must do this or we're going to have to step in. So it is now time, because if humans are left to their own devices, we think that they are going to destroy themselves, and we don't want that to happen.
How would you compare human technology with that on your planet?
If you think of technology as an adult that is fully educated, I would place human technologies as a newborn baby.
Wow. We got lots to learn.
Many ways.
How do you travel? Is it through dimensions, gravity, manipulation, or something else?
Yes. All the above.
Yes. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. How long did it take your civilization to learn to live together without war?
I would think about 400,000 of your years. It was a slow process on our planet as well. It seems as though civilizations are all very slow learners.
What do humans do that make you laugh or feel pity on us?
Take themselves seriously. There are humans that think they are the ultimate beings on the planet, in the galaxy, or even the universe. Trust me when I tell you that they are not. They are an interesting culture and civilization, but they are not truly unique. There are so many different cultures, and I'm just talking about in our galaxy. If you went out of our galaxy, you would be amazed. You will be amazed at the different types of civilizations and cultures within our galaxy. But there's an awful lot out there that you have no clue about.
What things about human culture do you dislike the most?
The desire to wage war, each physical life is very precious because it represents a life plan and lessons that a soul has to learn. There are many humans that have no regrets at having the lives of others taken indiscriminately. Today, I'm going to use Russia as an example. They are destroying tens of thousands of their men each month for no reason, just simply because they want a neighbor's country. That the leadership has no regrets over having those people lose their lives. That is a terrible, terrible thing. And that probably represents an attitude that is one of the most destructive towards the future of humans.
What is your opinion of how humans worship God on earth, and does it differ from worship on your planet?
Yes. On our planet, there are no organized religions. We all understand and do not need to be preached to about salvation, afterlife, God. We totally understand God. We totally understand heaven, and we totally understand afterlife. And we know exactly how we must live our lives. And that is what we do. So there are no organized religions in our planet. Because once you know all of these things, then the need for an organized religion no longer exists.
If you could give us just one piece of advice to ensure that we're here 1,000 years from now, what would it be?
Stop killing yourselves. What you must do is learn to live together in peace. That is really the key information that everyone must understand. You must teach the young that they must learn to live in equality with one another. They must learn that the emotion you refer to as love is very, very important, and that they must show that emotion to others. They must learn that they must not kill. They must not do violence towards others. They must control their emotions. They must just simply live as I'm going to refer to Jesus. When he walked the earth, he told people how to live in peace. His words were very simple. Just simply live in peace. That's all you have to do. And we will do the rest in instructing you how to move forward.
What dangers are we too blind or divided to see?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What dangers are we too blind or divided to see?
The hidden emotions of others. There are many people that hold hatreds into their hearts. And there are many people who have no compulsion against using violence. And it is very, very difficult to see those emotions that are hidden within an individual. Many individuals have the ability to hide their emotions. And that is a very, very dangerous thing. In our planet, there's no need to hide emotions because we know what we have to do as individuals. But on this planet, there is greed, the desire for great wealth, the desire for power, the desire to control others. Until all of those emotions are removed, then the evolution of humans is definitely in danger.
Do you have a final message for our group?
Yes, I always enjoy the opportunity to speak. Perhaps today I was a little more philosophical than what you're usually used to hearing from me. But these questions were a little bit deeper today, so I thought that I would try to make everyone truly understand that life on the planet Earth can be very simple or it can be incredibly complicated. As humans evolve, they will find that the circumstances that create havoc in their lives will slowly disappear because evolution simply means getting along with others. Evolution, for it to take place for humans, just simply means following the simple advice. It can be as simple as using your own common sense. In every civilization, in every individual in the galaxy, there is a spark of God's energy. That is the same. That is something that never changes. You must simply learn how to open your heart and release that energy. We learned the lesson many, many years ago. There are many individuals that have already learned this lesson as humans, but sadly, there are many that have not. When individuals learn to love one another and accept the fact of the great equality of all souls in the galaxy, then humans will truly exist. The alien presence is going to become more known. Everyone at some point is going to understand that they're not alone in this galaxy. So show love, be kind to others, and you will find that there will be guidance for any path the humans wish to take. So thank you for allowing me to come back again. I always enjoy it, and I hope that your listeners have enjoyed it as well.
Thank you, Fred, and please, I hope you come back soon.
Very good. He was philosophical today, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So anyway, I hope that all of you out there are listening and enjoyed these things. Fred is always welcome on our show. He always gives us some great information. We'll be back again next week. We're here every Friday night for you. We're on YouTube. We have 2 other shows that we do a week. On Wednesdays, we bring you a message from Jesus. And on Sunday mornings, a message from the Holy Spirit. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for telling others about us. Have a blessed week, and we'll be back again next week. Goodbye, all.
Bye, everybody.